what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple more interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, a little bit of an update, I guess you could call it, on the classic physique weigh-ins. Terrick Guindy, who obviously works for the Olympia. He is the host of the Olympia TV YouTube channel, and I think he runs that whole channel. But he recently did an interview with a Brazilian bodybuilding media outlet. So the interviewer asked him about the height situation, the controversy around Mike Sommerfeld, and this is how they quoted him, or at least this is the translation of how Terrick responded. It says, Terrick explained the organization wants to ensure transparency and equality among all competitors. And the quote was, "We want to do the right thing. We want all the athletes who step on stage to be within the rules, and nobody wants a champion or seventh place with any doubts." So I will say, to the higher-ups' credit, I really do think that that email that came out saying that they were going to remeasure all of the classic physique heights for the Olympia, I really do think that was a direct response to the concern that the fans raised about the Mike Sommerfeld thing. I think the higher-ups, the powers that be, probably saw some of those posts about Mike, because let's be honest, some of those posts about his height were pretty compelling. And they probably thought to themselves, you know what, that is kind of sketchy. That is kind of suspicious. I want to know how tall he really is too. And they wanted to address that concern. Like they saw an issue that the fans brought up and they said, you know what, you're right. Let's try to fix this. And for those of you that were asking when the weigh-ins are going to be, I was looking at the Olympia website, and for Wednesday, so they have all these different episodes set up for the streaming, and they have Wednesday set up, which is tomorrow, for 9:30 p.m. It says, for the first time ever, watch as the pros check in with the IFBB and the Olympia height and weight last-minute instructions as they finish their prep before they hit the stage. Also includes exclusive interviews. So it says height and weight Wednesday at 9:30. So tomorrow at 9:30, apparently they'll be live streaming the height and weight check-in. So it looks like we will be getting an actual stream. So it looks like they're listening, at least to an extent, to what the fans are asking for here. The fans said they wanted to see these guys get remeasured. They're remeasuring them. The fans said they wanted it to be live streamed and publicly available. They're live streaming it. I am curious to see, however, I am very curious to see what they end up doing with the stage, the lighting, the background. Do they listen to the fans in that regard? I'm curious, because so far it seems like they are listening at least a little. Now, next up in the news, we got a brand new video from Urs Kalecinski. Even though it looks very similar to the one that we already got, this one is at 5 days out instead of 7 days out. Exact same lighting, exact same setting, exact same room, but looking a little bit tighter here, I would say. And if you guys watched my video yesterday, my Olympia prediction video, you guys will know that I have Urs rounding out the top 10 in 10th place. And watching this new update, I still really think that's a pretty fair prediction. In fact, I think I saw more people arguing that 10th place was a high prediction for him than saying that I had him too low. I think people thought I had him too high, being in the top 10 instead of other people. And I mean, I guess I kind of get it, because that video was ranked from 10th to 1st, so because I was only talking about 10 guys, whoever's 10th technically is the worst of that video, because we're only talking about 10 guys. So I guess maybe people perceived it that way and thought, well, why don't you have him higher? I just think, the tough thing about the top 10 is it's the top 10 for a reason. Not everybody can be in it. And when I look at the guys that I had in my top 10, just even looking at those top 6, I feel like there's really not a whole lot of room for guys like Urs to squeeze up into that top 6. I really do think that with time, he can be a top 6 guy. With time, he could probably be a top 3 guy. I think Urs has tremendous potential, and I think top 10 would be a massive accomplishment for him at his Open Olympia debut. I mean, I don't think that would be anything to be disappointed about. If he's top 10, that's great. Because I really do think when you watch this video, this latest update, his condition is great, his shape is great, but I think for the Olympia stage, I don't think the size is there yet. The back and the arms are specifically what I'm talking about. The back really needs to come up. And again, maybe I think top 10 would be huge for him, and I think that's why some people don't seem to have Urs in their top 10. And I think that's okay too. I think that is a bold prediction. I think that probably not a lot of people expected Urs to win his open debut, the first show that he did, and he won that. And I think probably a good chunk of people don't necessarily expect him to be top 10 at his first Open Olympia because of the size thing. I think maybe he'll surprise people, and that's why I have him in my top 10. Because he definitely surprised me. Look, I'll be honest, when we saw Urs's name on that on the Italy show where he was making his Open debut, I'll be honest, before we saw what he looked like, I thought there's no way he's going to be able to win an Open show on this short of notice. Without a full off season, without putting on size, I just thought there's no way. But he proved me wrong. He looked fantastic. He was conditioned. He had this great aesthetically pleasing classic shape, like this classic open hybrid that he now has become. And despite being smaller than the other guys, he still won both shows. So I feel like at the Olympia, Urs can pull off something similar and achieve a placing like 10th that I think is probably unrealistic, unlikely, but I think he'll surprise a lot of people because that's just what he seems to do. And I've got a lot of faith in Urs. Like I said, I kind of talked about Urs versus Rubiel when I was making my prediction video. I was kind of thinking about Urs, Rubiel, Regan. And when I think of Urs versus a guy like Rubiel, these two guys that are making their Olympia debut, they both won 2 shows this year before the Olympia. I think Urs seems to be the more consistent of the two guys with the type of condition and the type of package that he puts together over and over and over again. I don't think Rubiel is. And that's why I've got Urs in 10th place. Now, next up in the news, we actually did just get a new physique update from Rubiel Mosquera, Neckzilla. Now, this comes very shortly after we just got the black and white photo updates earlier today. And even though this picture is taken under much better goon lighting, it's in color, it's not black and white, he looks a little better in this update. I'm still thinking the same thing, man. Even with better lighting and full color here, I still think he looks smooth, like all around. He's huge. He's a mass monster, but his skin just has that really thick, smooth, holding water look. The separation in his legs, I know before those shows that he won, I remember the physique updates that he was posting, and the separation in his legs was way deeper, way more detailed. His skin was a lot thinner. I just have a feeling based on what we're seeing from Neckzilla, we're probably going to see, I think, something similar to what we saw from him in Dubai, where he was just completely out of the conversation for the win in Dubai. I think that's what we're going to see here. He's going to look big on stage. He's going to look freaky. He's going to be a main event attraction type of bodybuilder. People in the audience are going to go crazy and gasp and scream when they see him. But this year, I don't think is going to be the year. I really don't think this is going to cut it. You're just seeing big, smooth muscles. Look at his chest. Look at his shoulders. Look at his arms. Huge, but just smooth. Thick skin, not very vascular, no deep lines, no fine lines, barely striations in the chest. But I really think that looking at his leg from the side is one of the most telling things here. That side leg is just, like I said in the last video, it's just mass. It's just a big mass of size. It's not, it's just not detailed. It's not defined. It just looks like a big lump mass. Like this is not what a side leg on the Olympia stage should be looking like. You want to see all kinds of splits in that side leg. I just legit don't think this is going to cut it. He can do better than this, and we've seen him do better than this. I don't think this is it. Now, next up in the news, Terrick Lunsford finally showing something besides his legs here, showing off his midsection. However, very briefly, there's only 2 shots here where you can see his abs. And I mean, Terrick has always had an incredible midsection, at least from the standpoint of how small his waist is. But I think it is also impressive that Terrick has like a fully defined 8-pack. But I'm just not really sure why Terrick isn't showing more. He's been showing a lot of his legs, and he's showing these pictures of his abs where, he's just lifting up his shirt here, which is like the standard gym bro ab selfie, because you got that shadow from your shirt making it even more shadow on your abs, making them look even deeper. But then, like, when I look at the update where he takes off his shirt and he's wearing the tank top, like, am I way off base here when I say I look at this update and you can see his arms, his shoulders, his chest. You can see a good chunk of his physique here in this stringer, and he's under really good lighting. Am I tripping when I say it doesn't look that impressive? Do you guys find this to be a really impressive photo of his physique? When you think about, you know, all these updates that we've seen from Samson and Hottie and Nick, they were all in tank tops, in the gym like this, in good lighting like this. And I feel like they just looked so much freakier and more impressive than what you're seeing in this shot. And I think really the fact that Terrick is the on-paper favorite to win the Olympia makes, I feel like, the bar for him even higher. Like, I feel like that's why I feel hypercritical when I look at his updates, because he is the favorite going into it. I want to be impressed by the updates that we're seeing from him. I want him to look like, you know, he's coming to win this thing. And that's just not what I feel when I look at his updates. So I feel like that's why I feel that way, is because the expectation that's kind of placed upon him now that he's the favorite is impress us. And I'm just not feeling that. But let me know what you guys think of these latest updates from Terrick in the comments down below. Do they impress you? Let me know. And the final story that I have for you guys today, or at least for this video, there's probably going to be more stories and more videos today, but the latest physique update from Mike Sommerfeld. Just a few days out now. And someone said something interesting to me in the DMs earlier. They said, I actually hope that Mike misses weight and then just competes in 212 to give Keon a run for his money. And I thought that was a really interesting comment, because I didn't even really consider that. Because, like I said, we haven't seen somebody get disqualified from the Classic Physique Olympia. So I was just kind of thinking, if Mike misses weight, he's either done, he's out, he can't compete this year, or he tries to make whatever weight class he's in, presumably 204, and tries to find a way to make 204. I didn't even think about the fact that maybe it is an option that if he misses weight, he just doesn't even try to get down to 204 and just competes in 212. But I don't even know if that's an option, because the tricky thing is Mike has never won the Classic Physique Mr. Olympia, so he should be able to qualify to compete in the 212 Olympia. I don't think that would be fair, even though he's qualified in Classic Physique. Like, typically, if you want to compete in another division, you can compete in another division, but then you have to go qualify for that division at the Olympia if you want to compete in that division at the Olympia. And I suppose it is at the discretion of the promoter. I believe it's the promoter's discretion. Maybe the IFBB has a say in it too. But with special invites, they can just kind of do whatever they want. The special invite could be any division to whoever if they really wanted to. And I think that would probably be the only way that we see it happen. But I guess even in that situation, it still wouldn't really be fair to the other competitors. So maybe this is a dumb idea anyway. But I liked what the guy said. I do think that Mike versus Keon would be an interesting matchup. But now the more that I think about it, it wouldn't be fair to the other competitors in 212 because he's not qualified. And so if they gave him a special invite, it'd be like, well, why? Because when you're talking about like Derek Lunsford, it makes sense why he would get a special invite to the Open Olympia. He's a 212 Mr. Olympia champ. If Mike had won the Olympia last year, I think it would be different. And if he misses weight this year, I think they could say, well, you're a Mr. Olympia champ. You can compete in whatever Olympia category you want. So I do think it's a little tricky. I am curious. What do you guys think? Is Mike going to make weight? Is Mike going to miss weight? And what do you think should happen if he misses weight? Should the 212 Olympia become an option for him? Should he be disqualified? Should he be given some time, some extra time to cut down into the next lowest weight class? Should he be allowed to compete, but then like pay a fine or a penalty? And not even just Mike, anybody. How do you guys think it should be handled if anybody misses weight tomorrow? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification icon if you have not already. And as always, I love you guys, appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower, my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.